To top news, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman met the heads of public sector banks and regional rural banks to review their performance. We learned that the Finance Minister has asked public sector banks to carry out special drives to boost deposits. That's not all. She's also asked them to implement a new MSME credit assessment model based on digital footprints and cash flows. Now, remember, this is the first meeting between the Minister and PSU bank heads ever since RBI Governor Shaktikanta Das raised the red flag over investors moving away from bank deposits. Sapna Das joins us now. Sapna, what's the message from the Finance Minister?
Well, first of all, it's a bit of a change in the situation. It's a reversal of the situation. Like a few years ago, we used to listen or we used to talk about banks doing loan melas. Basically to attract credit, or rather to make sure that there is credit offtake. And now they'll have to undertake special drives for deposit mobilization. So, probably the same kind of model is going to be adopted, but for a different purpose altogether. Having said that, this is an important advisory coming from the Finance Minister, probably stems after the Reserve Bank of India's indication or warning that this could translate into systemic risk. The fact that continuously the credit offtake is much higher than the deposit mobilization. The gap there, I think, is around 300 to 400 basis points, and probably the banks will have to try to do something to make that good. Of course, in terms of doing these special drives, banks will have to watch out for if there are higher interest rates that are going to be offered on deposits. That is already happening, but that will also translate into higher lending rates to an extent. Some of the banks have already done that. So there are other issues also involved. We'll have to see how this really impacts the economy, if at all, in the coming months. So that's an important advisory being given by the Finance Minister to the PSBs. Second, she has also told PSBs to expeditiously implement the new credit risk assessment model for MSME lending. This, of course, will be based on cash flows and the digital footprints and not on the balance sheets alone. Remains to be seen how that pans out. Last but not the least, she's also spoken about, banks, government, regulators and security agencies coming together to basically handle cyber risks. Now, here is something that we have to watch out. If there's something else that the government has in mind that they may be announcing at some point in time. But for now, all attention on banks in terms of how well they're able to do the deposit mobilization and what kind of special drive they are able to undertake to attract those depositors.
All right, Sapna, thank you for those details. Appreciate you joining us.